Okay, well let's go back to our Hangout participants. Pedro, I believe you have a question about foreign policy.
Yeah, that's true. Olá, Mr. President. Boa noite. Saudações Portugal. I could ask you anything about your optimism on the economic perspective of Europe, especially being Portuguese, but that's not what brings me here tonight. We have seen, especially in the last few years, with the prime examples being Libya and Syria, how hard it can be for the EU to respond to certain serious foreign policy issues. Usually, it's all about what France, Germany, or the United Kingdom wants. Even this week, US and Russia presidents, Barack Obama and Vladimir Putin, have made references to Syria, and they forgot, between commas, Europe. Mr. Obama referred to two important allies, the United Kingdom and France, and Mr. Putin didn't even say anything about Europe in his article on the New York Times today. At the European level, it doesn't even matter the opinions and challenges taken from other countries, like Malta, Cyprus, or Greece. So my question is very simple and direct. When are we going to have a truly common foreign policy, a truly common voice as an actor on the world stage? Thank you.
Muito obrigado, Pedro, pela sua pergunta. Thank you very much for your question. Indeed, it depends on the governments of Europe willing to have a real common policy. I'm pushing for this. But regarding Syria, let's be honest about it. The European position that was agreed now between the 28 foreign ministers of the European Union and Baroness Ashton, this High Representative of the European Union, she's also Vice President of the Commission, is, I believe, a strong position, and a position that is having influence in the approach to the issue. I can tell you because I was in the G20 and in St. Petersburg. I spoke with President Obama, I spoke with President Putin, I spoke with Chancellor Merkel, Prime Minister Cameron, President Hollande, Prime Minister Letta, Prime Minister Rajoy. And I can tell you how important our position is, precisely because President Obama was trying to get the support of the European Union. And in fact, it was not possible at that time have a completely defined position because the day afterwards there was going to be a meeting of the 28 countries. And for instance, Chancellor Merkel, she decided not to sign any kind of position that day because she wanted before to have a common position of the 28. So, and as I've said, the European Union is by far the biggest donor of humanitarian aid. This is also a very important issue. Of course, not always this humanitarian relevance of the European Union is translated in political influence in the United Nations, because as you know, the United Nations has a format that is different, where we have the countries, we have as permanent members of the Security Council, France and Germany, apart of course from the United States, Russia and China. We don't have the European Union as such, but in the reality, we are working together also in the United Nations. Some people ask me, but you have not influence of others in Syria. Certainly we have not influence of Russia in Syria, because Russia has been the biggest ally of Syria. Russia has been giving weapons to Syria and to the regime of Mr. Assad. So certainly they have more leverage than we have in the situation in Syria. But would you like to be in that position? I don't think we would like to be in that position. So let's be honest, what about what the European Union can do and not? The reality is that regarding Syria, if you look at the United States, there is a divided opinion in the United States. There was a postponement in the vote of the Congress. If you look at Britain, there was a debate and the government did not get sufficient support from the parliament in Britain. So there are divisions also in the member states and in the countries themselves. So it's a very challenging issue, but I believe basically our positions of principle on Syria are the right ones. But I share what I believe is your ambition, if I understood correctly, is that we should do more to have a real common foreign and security policy. By the way, the Commission recently presented a communication for some steps for a common defense and security policy in the fields that are of our competence, in terms of research, in terms of the internal market, in terms of industry. These is matters that are of my competence. the Commission cannot now impose on the Member States a unified position in issues where, as you know, sometimes there are different positions, to be completely open with you.